A king had grown old, and it was time to choose a successor, but he didn't want the strongest warrior or the richest noble. He wanted the most trustworthy person in the kingdom. So one day, he gathered all the young men and announced, "In 1 year, I will choose the next king." The crowd erupted with excitement. Then the king handed each young man a single seed. "Take this seed home, plant it, care for it, and return in 1 year with what grows." Among the crowd was a poor boy. He dreamed of becoming king, so he carefully planted the seed in a pot. He watered it every day, placed it in sunlight, protected it from storms. But weeks passed. Nothing grew. He changed the soil. Still nothing. Months passed. Nothing. Meanwhile, other young men began showing off their plants. Beautiful flowers, tall stems, bright colors. The boy became worried. He worked even harder, but his pot remained empty. As the final day approached, his mother looked at the empty pot and said, "You did everything you could. Take it to the king." The boy lowered his head. "I'll be laughed at." His mother smiled. "Maybe, but you'll be honest." The next morning, thousands gathered at the palace. The boy looked around and felt his heart sink. Everywhere he looked were magnificent plants. The crowd immediately noticed his empty pot. They pointed, laughed, whispered. Why would he even come? The boy wanted to disappear, but he stood quietly and waited. The king slowly walked through the crowd, examining every plant, nodding, smiling. Then he reached the boy. He stopped and stared at the empty pot. The crowd grew silent. After a long pause, the king turned and addressed the kingdom. "I have chosen my successor." The crowd leaned forward. The king pointed to the boy with the empty pot. Gasps filled the palace. The other contestants protested. "That's impossible. We grew beautiful plants." The king raised his hand for silence. Then he smiled. "The seeds I gave you were boiled. They were dead. They could never grow." The crowd froze. The king continued, "Yet somehow, all of you returned with flowers." One by one, heads dropped in shame. Then the king looked at the boy. "You are the only one who returned with exactly what I gave you. You brought honesty when dishonesty would have been easier." The king placed his royal cloak on the boy's shoulders, and in that moment, the kingdom learned a lesson greater than any crown. Character is what remains when cheating would be easier.